Ready to explore the 100 most popular food in the world? Let's go! Number 100, Dal. This flavorful and highly nutritious national dish of India is especially popular in southern parts of the country, but it can also be found in Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Number 99, Bruschetta. Bruschetta is a traditional Italian appetizer that's nowadays popular throughout the world. In its simplest form, known as fettunta, this classic appetizer consists of a grilled slice of bread rubbed with garlic and drizzled with extra virgin olive oil. According to Marcella Hazan, a cookery writer and one of the foremost authorities on Italian cuisine, the history of bruschetta dates back to ancient Rome. Its name stems from the Old Latin bruscere. Number 98, Miso soup. Miso soup is a traditional Japanese soy-based soup made from a stock called dashi, miso paste, and various additional ingredients such as seaweed or tofu. It is estimated that more than 70% of Japanese people consume the soup for breakfast, although it is commonly available at any time of the day. In Japanese restaurants in the United States, miso soup is often offered as an appetizer. The soup is thought to have medicinal properties, as it alkalizes the blood and revives the nervous system. Number 97, Kimbap. Often referred to as Korean sushi, kimbap is a Korean dish consisting of seaweed, kim, seasoned rice, bap, and other optional ingredients that are usually rolled, sliced, and served. Almost anything can be added to the roll, but the most common ingredients are fish cakes, meat, spinach, eggs, and cucumbers. Number 96, Bisque. This thick, creamy, and rich pureed soup traditionally includes ingredients such as cream, seafood, cognac or wine, and a combination of spices. The origin of its name is still debated. Some claim that the word refers to a soup that is cooked twice, biscuits, since the traditional way of making the soup involves first roasting the shellfish and then simmering them again in the flavorful broth. Number 95, Nigiri. Nigiri or nigirizushi is a special kind of hand-pressed sushi where the meat is sliced and pressed on top of sushi rice. It was developed in Tokyo, then called Edo, during the 1800s. Sometimes, nori seaweed is used to wrap the whole concoction and keep it together. The topping is usually seafood such as shrimp, tuna, haddock, or eel, and it should always be fresh and of the highest quality. Number 94, Pizza Margherita. Pizza Margherita is a delicacy that is literally fit for a queen. In 1889, Queen Margherita of Savoy visited Naples, where she was served a pizza that was made to resemble the colors of the Italian flag: red tomatoes, white mozzarella cheese, and green basil. It was made by a chef named Raffaele Esposito of Pizzeria Brandi, who is credited for its invention. Number 93, Dondurma. Turkish ice cream is believed to originate from the city of Maraş, hence the name, and what really sets it apart from other varieties is its resistance to melting and a particularly dense, chewy texture. These qualities are brought by adding two thickening agents to the basic milk and sugar mixture: Arab gum, also known as mastic resin, and salep, a type of flour made from the root of the early purple orchid. Number 92, Banchan. The term banchan encompasses a wide variety of Korean dishes that are traditionally served on small plates. Although the name banchan translates to side dishes, in traditional Korean cuisine, they are considered as the essential part of every meal. The list of banchan dishes is extensive, but the most common options include different kimchi varieties, pickled and fresh vegetables, stir-fry dishes, pancakes. Number 91. Pulled pork. Pulled pork is an American barbecue technique of cooking pork meat slowly over low heat, resulting in tender meat that can easily be pulled into small pieces. It is a specialty that originates from the western part of North Carolina, traditionally using shoulder cuts of pork which are dressed with a vinegar, pepper, and tomato sauce. In the eastern part of the state, the whole pig is cooked and pulled, while the sauce usually doesn't contain tomatoes. Pulled pork has gained popularity across the United States, with various versions featuring different cuts of meat, cooking methods, marinades, and sauces. Number 90. Frozen yogurt. Frozen yogurt is a frozen dessert treat made with yogurt and, sometimes, other dairy products and flavorings. It is lower in fat than ice cream due to the use of milk instead of cream. Frozen yogurt is usually served with numerous toppings such as strawberries, bananas, or chunks of cookies and candy. The first frozen yogurt was produced in the 1970s in New England, but the name of its inventor is still a mystery. Number 89. Pad Thai. Pad Thai is Thailand's national dish, a flavorful stir-fry, pad in Thai, dish consisting of rice noodles, tofu, dried shrimp, bean sprouts, and eggs. If it's made with meat, chicken and pork are some of the most popular choices. The flavors are an intricate combination of sweet, sour, and salty, with a well-balanced contrast of textures. Number 88. Crumble. Regarded as close cousins of pies, crumbles are simple and hearty baked creations made with sweet or savory ingredients. The sweet varieties usually consist of fruit that is placed on the bottom of the tray and topped with a crumbly mixture of butter, sugar, and flour. The savory variants employ meat or vegetables and use cheese as a replacement for sugar. Number 87. Churros. Elongated, crispy, crunchy and intensely fragrant, churros consist of deep-fried yeast dough encrusted with sugar. Although some may argue against consuming these sweet treats, warning others about the dangerous effects of sugar and fat on human bodies, the popularity of churros throughout the world doesn't seem to wane. Number 86. Macarons. These small, round, sweet meringue-based cookie sandwiches with filling in the middle are light and crunchy on the outside and chewy in the middle. Macarons, which first appeared in Italy in 1533, albeit without the filling, got their name from the Italian word macarone, which means fine dough. Number 85. Soy sauce. Used in China for more than 2,500 years, soy sauce is one of the world's oldest condiments, made by fermenting a combination of salt, enzymes, and mashed soybeans. It originates from ancient China between the 3rd and 5th century, when preserved foods were commonly known as zhang, a predecessor to what we know today as soy sauce. Number 84. Ravioli, pasta type. The word ravioli denotes various kinds of pasta made by placing a filling between two thin layers of dough. The pasta used is typically wheat flour and egg-based, and it acts as an enclosure while also binding with the sauce or broth the ravioli is cooked or served in. Ravioli are usually served boiled with a sauce as a first course, or boiled and served in broth as a traditional winter dish. Number 83. Gnocchi, dumpling type. This is the traditional Italian form of dumplings. Today, the word gnocchi usually refers to a dumpling made with potato-based dough shaped into thick bite-sized pieces and pressed into a ribbed wooden board or grater to create an imprint, which helps the sauce to adhere to each piece. They are considered precursors to pasta, and historically, the term gnocchi was occasionally used interchangeably with macaron, a word once used for all types of pasta. Number 82, kombu. One of the most commonly utilized seaweeds in Oriental cuisine, kombu or konbu has long been a dietary staple in Japan, and refers to a type of brown seaweed, namely kelp of the Saccharina japonica species that is native to Japan but also extensively cultivated in China and Korea, where it's known as haide and dashima, respectively. Number 81, spring rolls. Spring rolls are traditional Chinese snacks consisting of thin sheets of dough that are filled with various ingredients, then deep-fried in hot oil. Some of the more common ingredients for the filling include shredded pork, shrimp, mushrooms, and cabbage. These flavorful snacks are commonly served as an appetizer, accompanied by numerous dips, tea, or coffee. Number 80, mole. Mole, the national dish of Mexico, is a family of flavorful sauces. Its base typically includes Mexican chili peppers ground in a stone mortar and pestle called a molcajete. Mole sauces can vary with ingredients like vegetables, fruits, spices, herbs, nuts, seeds, masa cornmeal, bread, and even chocolate, providing a blend of earthy and spicy flavors. Number 79, grilled cheese. Grilled cheese is a classic American sandwich that is usually prepared with one or more cheese varieties that are placed between two slices of bread. The slices are buttered from the outside, and the sandwich is then shortly heated, typically in a pan or on a griddle, until the bread is golden and the cheese melts. Number 78, milkshake. Milkshakes are usually described as flavored milk and ice cream beverages, usually lavishly decorated and served cold. The first written mention, dating from 1885, was somewhat different, and the word was used to refer to a whiskey drink, similar to eggnog, which was used as a health remedy. At the end of the 19th century, milkshakes were already prepared as milk-based drinks made with flavored syrups. Number 77, Gouda. The Netherlands' most prominent export product and one of the world's most popular cheeses, Gouda, is a yellow to orange, creamy, and sweet cow's milk cheese. Because they are pressed into molds, Gouda cheeses usually have a characteristic flattened wheel shape, and many are instantly recognizable thanks to their yellow and red waxy, plastic-looking coating. Its texture ranges from semi-hard to hard, depending on aging time, and the taste also changes with aging. Number 76, Parmigiano Reggiano. Considered to be among the world's top-quality cheeses, Parmigiano Reggiano is made with raw, semi-skimmed milk from cows grazing on fresh grass and hay. It has a hard, gritty texture and its flavors range from nutty to robust and slightly piquant, depending on how long the cheese had matured. Parmigiano Reggiano cheese has its origins in the Middle Ages, crafted by Benedictine and Cistercian monks in the Po Valley. It was named after the city of Parma, its place of origin. Number 75, Pizza Napolitana. Italy's most emblematic culinary creation, The genuine pizza Napolitana is made with just a few simple ingredients and prepared in only 2 variations. Marinara, the basic Neapolitan pizza topped with a tomato-based sauce flavored with garlic and oregano, and Margherita, which is topped with tomatoes, mozzarella, and fresh basil leaves. A delicious combination whose colors are said to represent the Italian flag. The pizza crust has a thin base and puffs up on the sides, creating an airy texture. Number 74, Boric. Boric is a baked dish consisting of a savory or sweet filling wrapped in yufka, thinly stretched sheets of dough made with flour, water, and salt. Heartier than phyllo, but thinner than a tortilla, handmade yufka is typically brushed with butter before baking. Although many countries have their own versions of this satisfying dish, it was probably invented during the Ottoman Empire in the Anatolian provinces, an area that nowadays belongs to Turkey. Number 73, Fondue. Fondue is Switzerland's national dish, a melting pot of different flavors and aromas, similar to the country itself, a melting pot of people and different cultures. Its name comes from the French word fondre, meaning to melt, and it was first described in Homer's Iliad as a mixture of goat cheese, flour, and wine. Fondue's key ingredient is cheese that is melted over a fire, with a lot of regional varieties and flavorful additions such as cherry brandy, white wine, or a sprinkle of nutmeg. Number 72, Baguette. Probably the most iconic image of France, this long, light, airy bread with its characteristically crispy crust dates back to the 19th century, when wheat and white breads were no longer a privilege of the rich. Baguettes were made even before the invention of their name. The word baguette first entered use in 1920, derived from the Latin root baculum, meaning stick or staff, which became bacchetto in Italian. Number 71, Tiramisu. Even though tiramisu is actually a fairly recent invention, this dessert of coffee-soaked ladyfingers layered with mascarpone cream enjoys an iconic status among Italian desserts. Its name stems from the phrase tiramisu, an Italian expression which literally means pick me up, a reference to the uplifting effects of sugar, liquor, and coffee. Number 70, Fish and Chips. Most Brits would agree that there is nothing more British than fish and chips. This comforting, widely loved national dish consists of a freshly fried, hot, white fish fillet and large, sliced and fried potatoes. Cod, haddock, and flounder are the most common types of fish that is fried for the dish, and the customers can choose which type of fish they want, with cod being the most popular choice. Number 69, Churrasco. Churrasco is a Brazilian barbecue method where juicy pieces, slices, steaks, and chops of beef, veal, lamb, pork, and chicken are placed on big skewers and grilled over wood fire. It started in the early 1800s when the gauchos, European immigrants that settled in the Rio Grande do Sul area, would get together and start a fire, adding large portions of meat on skewers and slowly grilling the meat. Number 68, Donut. Although archaeologists had found some petrified remains of fried cakes with holes in the center, it is still unclear how could the early Native Americans prepare these delicious fried dough desserts that we know today as donuts. In the past, donuts were known as olykoeks, oily cakes, and the Pilgrims from Holland are credited for bringing them to the United States. Number 67, Chocolate Chip Cookie. Usually accompanied by a glass of milk or a cup of hot tea or coffee, Chocolate chip cookies are well balanced between salty and sweet in flavor, tenderly chewy in texture, and filled with small melting chocolate pyramids, bringing a generation of Americans back to their childhood. The origin story of these sweet treats is incredibly interesting, almost as the cookies themselves. The Toll House Inn was a popular bed and breakfast in Whitman, Massachusetts, bought by Ruth Graves Wakefield and her husband in 1930. Ruth's cooking was so good that the inn gained an excellent reputation in a short span of time. Number 66, Bibimbap. Bibi means mixed, and bap means cooked rice, so bibimbap is literally mixed rice. The rice is combined with a variety of ingredients such as sliced beef, namu, sliced vegetables, soy sauce, gochujang, thick, deep red chili pepper paste, and a raw egg on top, cooking as it is dispersed through the steaming rice. One of the most popular Korean dishes besides bulgogi and kimchi, bibimbap is said to have been invented out of necessity, just like many other national dishes. In Korea, the tradition of not carrying over leftover food into the new year led to the creation of bibimbap. This dish combines various ingredients with rice in a bowl. Number 65, bulgogi. It's hard to say which is better. The succulent meat or spicy side dishes that define bulgogi, the Asian barbecue style in which thin slices of marinated meat are quickly cooked over high heat on top of a perforated, round metal plate that covers the grill's piping hot coals. The name of the dish stems from bul and kogi, Korean words denoting fire and meat. The earliest form of the dish originates from the Goguryeo period, when the meat was marinated before grilling, unlike the standard Chinese practice of seasoning the meat after it has been grilled. Number 64, naan. Naan is a unique and popular flatbread with a chewy texture that has its roots in India. The first documented traces of naan are found in the 1300 AD notes of Amir Khusrau, an Indo-Persian poet. Its name comes from the Persian word for bread. Naan was originally made in two versions at the imperial court in Delhi: naan-e-tunic, light bread, and naan-e-tanori, baked on the stone walls of a tandoor oven. Tandoor baked bread made with white flour, yeast, eggs, milk, salt, and sugar. Its teardrop shape forms as the dough cooks on tandoor walls. Number 63, chutney. Whether Indians are enjoying tandoori chicken or aloo paratha, no meal is complete without the flavorful chutneys, India's national condiments. These fresh homemade relishes consist of pickled or stewed fruit and vegetables that are cut into small chunks, then delicately seasoned with a variety of spices such as cumin, cardamom, tamarind, ginger, and turmeric. They are typically served in small, round bowls and consumed along with the main dish. Number 62, gnocchi. This is the traditional Italian form of dumplings. Today, the word gnocchi usually refers to a dumpling made with potato-based dough shaped into thick bite-sized pieces and pressed into a ribbed wooden board or grater to create an imprint, which helps the sauce to adhere to each piece. They are typically boiled in large amounts of salted water or fried in shallow oil, a technique typical for some Italian regions. Gnocchi, pasta ancestors, once called macaron interchangeably. Number 61, nori. Nori is the traditional Japanese ingredient created out of processed seaweed, more specifically the red algae porphyra. The production starts with rinsing, draining, and slicing seaweed, which is later pressed and dried to create the rectangular sheets that are thin, flat, and black in color. Through history, nori was mostly produced out of wild seaweed and was collected at its natural locations. Number 60. Macaroni. This is a dry, short variety of pasta made with durum wheat and water. In northern Italy, it usually refers to an extruded type of pasta with a tubular shape, a categorization that has been accepted in most other parts of the world as well. However, in the rest of Italy, the term macaroni can also signify numerous other types of pasta of varying size and shape. In the past, the Italian word macaroni was a generic name used to refer to all varieties of dry pasta, a category known today as pasta secca. Number 59. Ceviche. Ceviche is the national dish of Peru, consisting of slices of raw fish or shellfish that is spiced with salt, onions, and chili peppers, then marinated in lime juice. Due to the acidity of lime juice, the texture of the fish changes, as does its color, from pink to white. The acidic marinade, also known as leche de tigre, lit. Tiger's milk, cooks the meat without any heat involved in the process. For ceviche, fresh fish is an imperative, as fish and shellfish that are not fresh can cause food poisoning. Number 58. Quesadilla. Quesadilla is a simple Mexican snack consisting of a flour or corn tortilla filled with cheese that melts well. It is commonly folded in half and consumed. A quesadilla can also have some other ingredients on the inside, such as meats, beans, or potatoes, but cheese is always mandatory, with the exception of Mexico City, where cheese in a quesadilla is often an afterthought. Sometimes, it is cut into wedges and served with salsa or guacamole on the side, and it can be topped with vegetables such as diced tomatoes, onions, lettuce, or hot chilies. Number 57. Fajitas. Fajitas is a popular Tex-Mex dish made from marinated, grilled skirt steak that is served in a wheat flour tortilla. The earliest printed mention of the word fajita referring to food appeared in 1975, and 10 years later it had become one of the most popular dishes of Tex-Mex cuisine. Fajita comes from Spanish, faja, meaning strip, referring to a cheaper cut of beef covering the diaphragm, initially seen as less desirable. Number 56. Guacamole. Guacamole is a world-famous buttery delicacy dating back all the way to the Aztec Empire of the 1500s. It's a healthy blend of ripe, mashed avocados, onions, chilies, optional tomatillos and selected seasonings such as sea salt and coriander. The star of this incredibly simple dish is the avocado, high in unsaturated fat, potassium, vitamins, minerals and protein. Its name stemming from the Aztec ahuacatl, meaning testicle or testicle tree, which is why it was believed that it was an aphrodisiac by the Aztecs. Number 55. Tonkatsu. The breaded, deep-fried pork cutlet tonkatsu is a Japanese dish with a very recent history. It first appeared at the end of the 19th century as a type of yoshoku, the Western-influenced Japanese dishes, but with time, tonkatsu has become increasingly Japanized, widely available to the masses and thus more popular. Number 54. Dashi. One of the fundamental ingredients in Japanese cuisine, dashi is a type of soup and cooking stock often used as the base for different miso and noodle soups, donburi or rice bowl dishes, stews and many other kinds of namono or simmered dishes. Dashi is typically made from kombu, dried kelp, katsuobushi, dried and smoked skipjack tuna, iriko or niboshi, anchovies or sardines, or a combination of these ingredients, all of which are naturally rich in glutamates and thus deliver an intense umami flavor to a number of Japanese dishes. Number 53. Penne. Penne is a type of pasta made from durum wheat flour and water in its most basic form. It is characterized by its oblique cut and can come in smooth or ridged version, in different sizes. The pasta is usually boiled in plenty of salted water. The name penne is literally translated to quills, referring to their shape, and the shape refers to pennino, or pen, that had to be dipped in ink. Number 52. Hummus. This internationally popular, beige-colored spread is traditionally made with mashed chickpeas, tahini, sesame paste, lemon juice, and garlic. People across the world love hummus for its tangy flavor and the fact that it is filled with nutrients. When served, it is typically dressed with a drizzle of olive oil, and is then used as a dip for vegetables or a flavorful filling for flatbreads such as pita. Even today, not much is known about its origins, although the earliest mention of hummus dates back to 13th century Egypt. Number 51. Ravioli. The word ravioli denotes various kinds of pasta made by placing a filling between two thin layers of dough. The pasta used is typically wheat flour and egg-based, and it acts as an enclosure while also binding with the sauce or broth the ravioli is cooked or served in. Ravioli are usually served boiled with a sauce as a first course, or boiled and served in broth as a traditional winter dish. Ravioli fillings include diverse varieties of meat, cheese, and vegetables, and they vary from region to region. There are also sweet ravioli, which are usually deep-fried. Number 50. Mooncake. An ancient Chinese delicacy eaten during the Mid-August Festival or Moon Festival, known as mooncake, is a pie-like pastry made with a short crust base called yuping that is traditionally filled with black sesame seed or lotus seed paste, along with red beans, roasted pork, mung beans, dates, and salted duck egg yolks. Nowadays, mooncakes are available in a variety of different sweet and savory fillings, some of which are fruits like honeydew, lychee or pineapple, chocolate or mixed nuts, abalone and seaweed, green tea, and even cream cheese or ice cream. Number 49. Tamal. Tamal is a Mexican dish dating back to the Aztecs, consisting of corn masa dough with a filling that can be either savory or sweet, steamed and wrapped in corn husks, leaves, or banana leaves. The tamales are traditionally accompanied by atole, a masa drink. Even though it is common for Mexican food to be served with a variety of sauces and salsas. Number 48. Burrito. Burrito is a dish consisting of a wheat flour tortilla that is wrapped in such a way that it is possible to fully enclose the flavorful filling on the interior. The filling consists of a combination of various ingredients such as meat, beans, rice, lettuce, guacamole, and cheese, among others. Its name means little donkey in Spanish, and a popular theory suggests that it stems from the way the bedrolls and packs appeared on the donkeys that carried them. Number 47, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, a seemingly simple combination of macaroni and melted cheese, is one of the most popular dishes in the United States. The preferred American combination consists of curved macaroni pasta and cheddar cheese, but modern varieties include vegetables, breadcrumb toppings, or gourmet ingredients such as crab, lobster, or truffles. Although it is an American staple, the dish was probably inspired by similar pasta dishes enjoyed in Italy and France. Number 46, shabu shabu. Shabu shabu is a popular Japanese dish consisting of thinly sliced meat and vegetables cooked in water. The dish is an evolved version of the traditional Mongolian nabimono, one-pot, cooking. Roughly translated to swish swish, its name is referring to the sound that is made when the sliced pieces of meat go through the water. Although beef is the most popular choice of meat, shabu shabu can also be prepared with lamb, chicken, pork, duck, crab, or lobster. Number 45, miso. Miso is a Japanese paste made by fermenting soybeans with salt, the fungus koji, and occasionally rice, barley, and water. It is regarded as the most popular Japanese condiment and seasoning, commonly used to flavor soups, stews, sauces, spreads, and salad dressings. Number 44, wagashi. Wagashi are traditional Japanese sweets that are usually made from natural, plant-based ingredients such as grains and azuki beans. The sweet treats are typically served with tea and are classified into three categories: namagashi, fresh confectionery; han namagashi, half-dry confectionery; and hagashi, dry confectionery. Wagashi is characterized by its design, so in spring, when cherry blossom is in full bloom, the producers make wagashi in cherry blossom shapes, using cherry petals or leaves. Number 43, biryani. Biryani is a group of classic dishes dating back to the Mughal Empire. The main ingredients of biryani are rice, ideally basmati, spices, a base of meat, eggs, or vegetables, and numerous optional ingredients such as dried fruits, nuts, and yogurt. It is believed that Mumtaz Mahal, Emperor Shah Jahan's queen, inspired the dish in the 1600s. The word biryani is derived from the Persian word biryan, meaning fried or roasted, and the dish made its way from Persia to India via groups of traders and immigrants. Number 42, pho. Pho is a Vietnamese noodle soup, Vietnam's national dish, street food, comfort food, and a way of life. It is also one of the most beloved Vietnamese dishes in the Western Hemisphere due to its complex, unique flavors, and elegant simplicity. Although it is classified as a soup, pho is served as the main course and the two bowls of it never taste the same. It is traditionally made with chicken or beef broth, where the bones simmer lazily for at least 3 hours until the broth is perfect. Number 41, pasta carbonara. The carbonara we know today is prepared by simply tossing spaghetti with guanciale, cured pork jowl, egg yolks, and pecorino romano cheese. Despite its simplicity, this dish remains one of Rome's favorites, equally popular throughout the country. Even though carbonara is considered a typical Roman dish today, its origins are quite vague and often disputed. The name originated from the Carbonari, who cooked pasta over charcoal fires in the Apennine Mountains and tossed it with eggs and cheese. Number 40, nachos. The first, original plate of nachos consisting of tortilla chips, melted cheese, and jalapenos was made for a group of military officers' wives in 1943 in Piedras Negras, Mexico. The ladies of the U.S. Army Air Force Base went over to a restaurant in the city, called the Victory Club. Its maitre d' Ignacio, Nacho, Anaya couldn't find the cook, so he combined some readily available ingredients for the ladies and presented them with canopies of tortilla chips, cheese, and jalapeno peppers. Nachos were created, and Anaya became the restaurant's head chef a few years later. Number 39. Wasabi. Wasabia japonica, better known as wasabi, is a plant native to Japan that is harvested for its lumpy rhizome, which is predominantly used as a popular sushi condiment. The plant grows only in damp areas, usually in streams or artificial waterbeds. It is difficult to grow and takes up to 2 or 3 years to mature. The rhizome is typically grated against textured sharksin that is attached to a wooden board. Grated wasabi develops its signature pungency after a couple of minutes, but most of its flavor tends to disappear quickly, and true wasabi always needs to be freshly grated, right before it is served. Number 38. Afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is an old British tradition of having tea between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, accompanied by sweet or savory tidbits of food. There are 3 types of afternoon tea: cream tea, paired with scones, jam, and cream; light tea, paired with scones and sweets; and full tea, paired with savories, scones, sweets, and a dessert. It is said that the tradition was invented by Anna Maria Stanhope, the Duchess of Bedford, in the 19th century. Number 37. Brownies. Deliciously chewy, dense and fudgy with a rich chocolate flavor, the beloved brownies are one of the most popular American desserts. Some claim that Bertha Palmer, wife of the owner of Palmer House Hotel, asked the chef to invent a new chocolate dessert to serve at the 1893 Columbian Exposition. Others say that it was an accident, when Brownie Shrum, a librarian, excluded baking powder from a chocolate cake and was left with a thick, black cake fog. Instant boxed mixes from the 1950s, specifically by Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker, played a significant role in popularizing brownies. Number 36. Wonton. Often referred to as the Chinese ravioli, wontons are a variety of thin-skinned dumplings with meat, seafood or vegetable filling enclosed in tender wheat dough wrappers. Many sources suggest that the origins of wontons date back to the Han Dynasty era, when they used to be prepared for the Chinese ancestor worship rituals as offerings to the spirits of the deceased. As the Han era concluded, circa 220 CE, the northern Chinese farmers who had long grown wheat discovered they could ground this grain into flour and knead it with water. Number 35. Quiche. This popular French pie consists of a pastry crust filled with eggs, cream, and anything from bacon, cheese, and leek to mushrooms and seafood. Quiche is usually very filling and high in calories, making it a frequent choice for parties and buffet tables. It can be served either hot or cold, and is traditionally cut into slices. Numerous varieties of quiche exist today, the most popular of which are quiche Lorraine, quiche Florentine, and quiche Provençale. Number 34. Soba. Although soba is the Japanese term for buckwheat, the word typically refers to thin buckwheat noodles. The noodles are usually prepared for numerous hot and cold dishes, and can be consumed at both fast food stands on railway stations and in expensive restaurants. Soba is commonly eaten with chopsticks, and it is recommended to slurp the noodles while making loud noises, as it's a part of common culture in Japan. Eating soba dates back to the Edo period, when every part of town had a few soba establishments, which were used as today's bars. Number 33. Fried chicken. The most popular food of the Southern cuisine, fried chicken is the theme of many arguments where everyone involved seems to have a favorite, be it what their mothers used to make, a cult roadside eatery, or a bygone restaurant. However, it is universally agreed that the meat must be moist, succulent, and tender, coated with a crunchy, golden brown crust. It all started during the colonization period, when Scottish immigrants settled in the South, bringing their fried chicken recipes along. The African slaves then introduced new seasonings and spices, and the dish quickly gained popularity. Number 32. Gyoza. The famous Japanese gyoza are crescent-shaped dumplings that have originated from the traditional Chinese jiaozi dumplings. The recipe was slightly altered to accommodate the Japanese taste, and gyoza soon became one of the favorite Japanese meals. They consist of a thin wrapper made with wheat flour, eggs, and water, which is then stuffed with a mixture of meat and vegetables. The ingredients used in the stuffing are regionally influenced, but most commonly include minced pork or chicken, cabbage, and green onions. Number 31. Kimchi. Although many people get a chill through their spine at the very mention of the word pickles, Koreans have found a way to make fermented pickled vegetables interesting, tasty, and titillating. A classic starter or a side dish to any Korean meal, these spicy, salty, sweet and sour vegetables known as kimchi start their way sliced, tied in bundles, and marinated in brine with hot chili peppers, salty fish paste, leeks, ginger, sugar, and garlic. Number 30. Tagliatelle al ragu alla bolognese. Tagliatelle al ragu alla bolognese is a traditional Italian dish originating from Bologna, consisting of tagliatelle pasta and a rich ragu made with beef, and sometimes pork, and tomatoes as key ingredients. Even though they are often thought to be synonymous, tagliatelle al ragu, one of Bologna's signature dishes, bears little or no resemblance to the dish known as spaghetti bolognese in the rest of the world. In fact, the world-famous Italian ragu alla bolognese meat sauce is never served with spaghetti in Bologna. Number 29. Cupcake. A cupcake is a tiny cake that is baked in a thin paper mold or an aluminum cup. One cupcake should typically serve one person. The first mention of a cupcake can be traced back to a 1796 cookbook called American Cookery, written by Amelia Simmons. Her recipe stated that a cake is to be baked in small cups. The term cupcake has first been used in 1828 in Eliza Leslie's Receipts cookbook. Over the years, cupcakes have become a huge industry, and the name cupcake is now given to any small cake that is about the size of a cup. Number 28. Ricotta. Ricotta is a fresh, soft cheese made from sheep's, cow's, goat's or Italian water buffalo's milk. Technically, it is not a cheese but a creamy curd made by reheating the whey, a byproduct of cheese making. Hence the name ricotta, which literally means re-cooked. Ricotta curds are white and creamy, very fresh, and slightly sweet in taste. The shape and weight might vary, depending on the milk used in the process, but it usually has a conical shape achieved by the usage of fascella, a traditional container in which the cheese is placed after skimming in order to drain. Number 27. Baozi. One of China's favorite breakfast foods and an everyday snack, baozi, or simply bao, as it's usually called, is a steamed bun, made with the so-called mantou bread, and stuffed with a wide variety of fillings ranging from savory to sweet, but they typically include various meats, seafood, or vegetables. Most popular types are char siu bao, filled with Cantonese-style barbecued pork. The smaller, mincemeat-filled Shanghai-style baozi called Xiaolong bao or Shenzhen mantou, and the succulent ting bao or guantong bao, large soup-filled bao buns made with pork or crab stock. Number 26. Feta. Feta is the most famous Greek cheese, affectionately called the Princess of Cheeses. The cheese is made from sheep's milk or a mixture of sheep's and goat's milk. The latter should not exceed 30%. It is produced in the regions of Macedonia, Thessaly, Thrace, Epirus, the Peloponnese, and central Greece. Feta is traditionally produced with non-pasteurized milk, although nowadays the use of pasteurized milk is also allowed. Number 25. Risotto. This widely popular and extremely versatile group of dishes consists of a base of rice and stock. Butter, saffron, and parmesan are some of the ingredients most often combined with the base to make a variety of flavorful risottos. The history of the dish is rife with conflicting theories about its origins. However, it is certain that rice was first introduced to Italy by the Arabs during the Middle Ages. Since the Mediterranean climate was perfect for growing short-grain rice, huge amounts of it started to be sold, primarily in Venice, Genoa, and the surrounding areas. Number 24. Mochi. Mochi, the tiny cakes made out of glutinous rice, are an important part of Japanese cuisine and culture. The preparation of mochi starts with a time-consuming process of pounding boiled or steamed rice, usually the glutinous mochi gome variety, until it forms into a thick and homogeneous paste. Later it is rolled and shaped into small circular forms. Although its origins might be in China, mochi has been associated with Japan for centuries. Once exclusive to the aristocracy, this dish gained popularity during religious festivities in the Heian period, symbolizing fortune and health. Number 23. Onigiri. Moist, chewy, and hearty, onigiri or omusubi are Japanese rice balls and a favorite picnic food since the 11th century, when they were known as tonjiki and recorded as such in the diary of Lady Murasaki, author of the Tale of Genji, which is believed to be the world's first novel. However, the origins of the dish are much earlier than the time of Lady Murasaki. In the Nara period, before chopsticks became popular, rice used to be rolled into small balls in order to be easily picked up and consumed. Number 22. Lasagna. Lasagna is a type of pasta with its own subgroup of numerous flavorful lasagna dishes. The main theory about the history of lasagna is that the word can be traced back to the Greek word laganon, denoting a flat sheet of dough that is cut into strips. There is also another Greek word, lasanon, denoting an ancient crock pot. The Romans adopted the word and turned it into lasanum, also referring to a cooking vessel, so lasagna is believed to refer to the vessel it was cooked in. Number 21. Roti. Roti is a flat and unleavened bread made with wholemeal flour. It is traditionally cooked on an iron griddle called tava, an important vessel in the Indian cuisine. In Indian cuisine, roti is as essential as rice. There are several theories regarding its origin. One says that it was invented in Persia, when it was made with maida and was much thicker than today's rotis. Another theory says that it traveled to India from East Africa, where unleavened bread was a staple and the production of wheat was abundant. Number 20. Yakitori. Yakitori refers to Japanese grilled chicken where pieces of chicken meat are skewered with a particular type of skewer called kushi, which can be made from either steel or bamboo, and are then traditionally grilled over a charcoal fire. Depending on the cut of chicken and the method of preparation, there are various types of this dish. An important step in the making of yakitori is the seasoning, either salty or salty sweet, which can be done during or after grilling. Salty seasoning is just salt that can sometimes be combined with pepper, while salty sweet seasoning is actually tare sauce made from mirin, soy sauce, sake, and sugar. Number 19. Barbecue. Modern American barbecue stems directly from barbacoa, the tradition of smoke-cooking meat which Caribbean natives were doing long before the colonists arrived. Today, the centuries-old technique of smoking whole hogs over a pit is now common in both Virginia and North Carolina. Barbecue was originally found mostly in rural areas, but in recent years it has moved to bigger cities, and how could it not with the aromatic and fragrant appeal of tender, juicy meats, elevating the mouth-watering bites to cult status. Number 18. Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger is a natural evolution of the beloved hamburger, the only difference between the two being that the cheeseburger has a slice of cheese added on top of the meat patty. Although American cheese was the original choice, Swiss, cheddar, and numerous blue cheeses were all used later to make this mouth-watering sandwich. As with most dishes that are extremely popular, the history of the cheeseburger is somewhat complicated. Adding cheese to hamburgers didn't become popular until the mid-1920s, and there are numerous claims as to who invented the first cheeseburger. The most popular theory by far says that it was invented by a 16-year-old short-order cook named Lionel Clark Sternberger at a restaurant called The Right Spot in Pasadena, California, when he added a slice of American cheese to a sizzling meat patty. Number 17. Cheddar. This sharp cow's milk cheese is one of the most popular cheeses in the world today, and it was first produced in the village of Cheddar in Somerset County, England in the 12th century. Cheddar is a hard cheese made from pasteurized cow's milk, and it ranges from white to pale yellow in color. When young, its texture is smooth, and when it is left to mature, the texture becomes more crumbly and it gets a sharper flavor. Joseph Harding, a cheesemaker often referred to as the father of cheddar, said that the authentic Somerset cheddar should have a close texture, a full, fine flavor reminiscent of hazelnuts, and a melt-in-the-mouth quality. Number 16. Paella. Widely acclaimed as the most popular Spanish dish, paella is a one-pot specialty that is based on saffron-flavored rice, while the additional ingredients may include meat, seafood, or vegetables. Although paella originated in Valencia, where it was made with seasonal vegetables, poultry, rabbit, and snails. Number 15. Mozzarella. Mozzarella is a fresh, soft, stretched curd cheese, made with whole cow's milk. Due to the fact that it has a fragrant aroma of fresh milk and a delicate creamy flavor, mozzarella is traditionally paired with light white wines. This Italian classic originates from the region of Campania, but nowadays it is produced all across the country. The cheese is made with water buffalo's milk or cow's milk, when it's often referred to as mozzarella fior di latte, in order to distinguish it from water buffalo milk mozzarella. Number 14. Jiaozi. These Chinese dumplings known as jiaozi, consisting of a thinly rolled piece of dough which contains either meat or a vegetable filling, are one of the most popular and most commonly eaten dishes in China and East Asia. They can be served either as an appetizer or as the main course, always with a side of soy sauce-based dipping sauce. Traditionally, jiaozi are always eaten for Chinese New Year. Depending on how they are cooked, jiaozi dumplings can be classified into three categories: boiled, steamed, and pan-fried. But when it comes to folding techniques, there are many, and the most popular one is known as pinched edge fold, which results in crescent-shaped jiaozi, the most popular shape in China. Number 13. Sashimi. Sashimi is a Japanese delicacy consisting of thinly sliced raw fish or shellfish, or even meat, served with soy sauce and other ingredients such as wasabi or ginger paste. Most common ingredients used in the preparation of sashimi are tuna, squid, scallop, whale, and octopus. Sashimi can be cut in different ways to alter the appearance of the dish, from extremely thin to very thick slices of fish. It is usually served as an appetizer, decorated with shiso leaves, cucumbers, and seaweed, wakame and tosaka nori. Number 12. Udon. These thick and chewy Japanese noodles are made with wheat flour, and along with soba, they are one of the most popular and most common Japanese noodle varieties. The traditional and most common form of udon is characterized by its round shape, firm texture, and substantial size. However, there are also many regional varieties that differ in size and thickness. A staple of Japanese cuisine, they are used in numerous traditional dishes and local specialties. Number 11. Spaghetti. In its most basic form, this popular type of pasta consists of durum flour and water. The word spaghetti means a small string, and this long, string-shaped pasta was originally rolled by hand. Originally known as itria, it was invented in 12th century Arab-ruled Sicily, the home of the first dried pastas. Today, like most modern pastas, spaghetti is made by being extruded through a die. The types and names of spaghetti vary according to the diameter of the pasta and the region where they're produced. Number 10. Yakiniku. Yakiniku is a term denoting a Japanese technique, with Korean origins, of cooking bite-sized pieces of meat and vegetables on a table grill. It can also refer to a number of dishes cooked using the same technique. Yakiniku has Korean origins and was inspired by the famous Korean dishes galbi and bulgogi, although the meat in yakiniku is usually not marinated before grilling. Traditionally, raw, thinly sliced meat and vegetables are brought to the table and grilled by the consumers. The most popular meat for yakiniku includes beef, pork, chicken, and a variety of shellfish. Number 9. Tortilla. Tortilla, originally a corn flatbread, is one of the essential bread varieties that has been present in Mexican culture for thousands of years. The first tortilla was created out of the staple ingredient of indigenous cultures, the ubiquitous corn. It was an ingredient used by the ancient Mesoamerican people, who would store the corn kernels and later process them to create masa, which was then formed into balls and hand-pressed to create the familiar, round and thin tortilla. This ancient tradition is still present among some native Indian groups, who are excessively trained to perfect the art of making authentic tortillas. Number 8. Croissant. These flaky, golden-colored, crescent-shaped pastries are best made with pure butter and a slightly sweet yeast dough. If made properly, the yellow-white interior should be just the slightest bit elastic when pulled from the center, ready to be covered with a pad of butter or some fresh jam. Experts agree that the croissant was heavily influenced by Austrian kipfels. Number 7. Tofu. Tofu is a unique vegan product, similar to cheese in texture, and made out of coagulated soy milk. The process of coagulation separates the curd from the whey, which results in the formation of protein-packed soy curds which are stored in containers to retain a rectangular shape, making it readily available for further use. Most tofu varieties are created by the process of coagulation, but might differ in how hay are stored and drained, which affects the texture of the final product. Number 6. Cellophane noodles. Also known as Chinese vermicelli and glass noodles, these thin noodles are made from water and starch extracted from mung beans, yams, cassava, or potato. They are characterized by their translucent appearance and extremely mild flavor. Cellophane noodles are often used in soups and stir-fries, but can also be served cold in salads. They tend to soften quickly when used in soups. Number 5. Tacos. Tacos are the national dish of Mexico, dating back to the Mexican silver mines of the 18th century, when the word taco referred to gunpowder that was wrapped in a piece of paper and inserted into rocks. It was used to excavate the precious ore from mines and was called tacos de minero or miners' tacos. Today, the word is widely known to signify the leading street food and fast food item in Mexico. Thin, flat griddle-baked tortillas topped with numerous fillings, folded and eaten without any utensils. Number 4. Ramen. Ramen is a noodle soup that first appeared in Japan in 1910, when Chinese cooks combined the noodles with a salty broth. These curly noodles were of bright yellow color and more elastic than the Japanese noodles prepared at the time. The dough was kneaded with a sodium carbonate-infused mineral water called consui. Number 3. Burger. A quintessential American food, burger evolved from the German Deutsches beefsteak, according to the New York Times food critic Mimi Sheridan. Its other name, hamburger, is a result of the fact that many German immigrants originally came from the port of Hamburg. Burger is a succulent dish consisting of, ideally, medium-rare seared beef patties tucked in fresh, lightly toasted buns, accompanied by onion slices and ketchup or Dijon mustard. Number 2. Sushi. Sushi is Japan's most famous culinary representative, typically made with rice and fillings which have been rolled inside a sheet of dry seaweed. However, the term sushi is actually an umbrella term covering a wide range of subvarieties which can be made with a myriad of different ingredients and in as many forms and presentations. Although the dish has become wrongly synonymous with raw fish, the primary ingredient of every type of sushi is only vinegared rice. Number 1. Pizza. The story of the invention of this everyday household name changes depending on how you define it. If you think a pizza is an oven-baked flatbread, its origins lie in the ancient Middle East. If pizza must have toppings, its origins date back to the ancient Romans and Greeks, who baked flatbreads and topped them with available, local spices and olive oil. But the pizza we all know today, made with tomato sauce, cheese, and numerous toppings, originated in Italy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.